My name is Samuel Gomez. I'm the owner and curator of the Sagrado Galleria out in South Phoenix. Well, I'm a self-taught photographer. I've been doing photography for about 15 to 18 years now. Mainly a lot of street photography. I do a little bit of fashion, some conceptual. My preferred is black and white. I really like black and white. I've been doing that for a while, and I find myself having to go and do street photography like at least every other day. It's just part of my therapy and kind of lets me detach from everything that I'm doing. It grounds me, but I also just love coming back home and checking out what I've captured. And sometimes I don't even realize the images and how, like, the meanings behind them until maybe weeks later, and I look at it and then you just start looking at things a little different as far as like as you just kind of wait and as time passes by. But yeah, I'm a self-taught photographer. I consider myself as a visionary, even though I'm not a painter. I do help out with artists of like, man, I'm trying to paint this or something. They just figure like, Sam has these ideas, what do you think? And so I kind of put out like concepts. So sometimes I like to consider myself as a conceptual enforcer. So I'm a creative. I'm a very much like a creative, trying to get into videography, working with the local artist Sagrado Galleria. We're looking to work on a short film. It talks about Phoenix culture, love, and art in a way that it has not been done before. So I'm excited. I figure we'll start off with some short clips, and later on we'll stitch it up and see where it goes from there. Yes, born and raised, proud Phoenician, born in Maricopa County Hospital. I grew up to like 6 years old in the Garfield neighborhood, 9th Street. And then I moved to the west side with my mom. It's always just been me and my mother. And we moved to 35th Avenue in Van Buren. That's where I attended Carl Hayden, an elementary school. And then I moved to Central Phoenix in 1999, just to kind of get away from just things that I wasn't supposed to be in. In the 90s were very struggling and very interesting times for me. And then from like 99 till like 2015, I was living in downtown Phoenix and was able to be there as I cultivated with other artists. And then I moved to South Phoenix, and that's when I reopened the Sagrado Galleria out there. And ever since, it's been good and just been a lot of blessings and just a lot of opportunities, sometimes overwhelming, but it's been good. It's just kind of what I've been dreaming about and what I live for. I originally started the Sagrado Galleria on Grand Avenue in 2012. We opened in the year 2012. Our first show was in January, and then we were there for about a year and a half, but we didn't have AC, so as soon as we went through 2 summers, and it was just like, this is not gonna work with no AC, plus the artwork being in that type of humidity. And so, but it was really good. We were able to really create a name for it, themed shows that nobody's ever done before. I think it really inspired and helped change the whole mentality on how you create art shows based off Chicano and Mexican and indigenous culture. And then when we closed our doors, it took us, we waited about, we just kind of let it go for a while, and then we opened up again in 2016 in South Phoenix. And that's when I had the opportunity to reopen and brought some of those same concepts to South Phoenix. And then we were very much part of the whole light reel. As far as for the artists, we helped put the language in there so local artists can actually be even considered for that, and it really helped. And because of that, we had 90% of the artists are local who got selected. It was good, and I think it really, from there now, it's just been, it's just how do we empower artists and where do we go from there, from taking it to architectural to design, and some of the things that I'm working on now are gonna kind of bring all that together. And so I'm just excited. I'm also a student of all this as well as any of these artists that don't know about RFQs, RFPs, and grants and all that. And we're so used to give us a paycheck or give us some cash or what do you need done. But I think it's really going to help empower artists as far as like how we create economic development through cultural identity. And so it's really important to me, and I'm just finding myself in another phase of it, and just committed to it. I think it's basically building a bridge. I think the cultural connection is there, and as far as as we move forward into the future, and as the Latino population grows, also the consciousness of our culture grows as well. And I think we very much want to be represented in a way where it's respected, but also where it's empowering. And so I think with the gallery and what it's been doing, and very much empowering and throwing shows, very much we're very well known as we push a lot of indigenous culture. And I think with this show coming in October, it just creates that bridge, especially with the artists, creates that connectivity, and I also think would help open up doors for maybe an exhibition with artists here at the PhxArt Museum, with some of our well-known veteran artists like Zarco and Martin, and they've been putting so much work and effort and commitment to our culture that, those are my mentors, and those are the people why I do this, but also the generations to come. And it just kind of ties into what Sagrado believes. It's like a mantra: is pasado, presente, futuro, past, present, future, and that it's all one. It's all one. It's all one big bridge. And so I just feel like it's building bridges. I think it's literally building a bridge from one community to another community.
And you talked about this a little bit already about the PhxArt scene, but is there anything else that you want to say either about the PhxArt scene or the museum as you see us moving forward?
I think the PhxArt scene is very interesting. I mean, we're a big city. We're one of the, fifth largest cities, but we're still not there yet as far as the economics parts of it. We don't have a lot of big collectors, but the artists, it doesn't stop the artists from creating. I think being from Phoenix and just being a native here, it's more about, it's a spiritual aspect to it. We have to create. It's part of our lifestyle. But I just think it's very interesting, and it's grown very much. Sometimes it has its spurts where it's growing too fast, and it still needs to kind of make sure and ground certain things. But overall, I think it's great. And there's a lot of great artists that came from here. A good friend of ours is El Mac, and he's internationally known, and he grew up right here down the street, right here behind Jack in the Box on 30, and you would never know. But I think it's the city, it's this place that people come from out of town, and it kind of goes with its name, Phoenix. It's a place of rebirth. And I've talked to a lot of people, and first they come in the summer, and it's like, man, how do you guys live here? And then they get used to it, and then they're here for the great weather. And they're like, you know what, this is my new home. I love Arizona, I love Phoenix. And so it's interesting. It's very spiritual to me. I think I tell people that once you come here and you basically get baptized by the heat, I would say you become a Phoenician, and it's kind of tribal. It's kind of like the Southwest. You become a Phoenician, and we as Phoenicians, we accept people from other places very openly, just as tribes. As long as you're coming at peace and you're coming to contribute, we're here open arms. So but yeah, I'm very much proud of the art scene here in Phoenix, Arizona. Just come support this show, keep supporting the arts, support your local artists, and be bold, and don't be afraid to show your support and your commitment to the culture here and to the people here who work very hard, to make this place what it is.